Lou on Facebook asked, who will challenge Bork for the title, and will they take the same beating or worse than John Cena?
You know, we've got a lot of options. I could see them pushing Reigns up to that realm. Being that he's a bigger guy, maybe they're going to put somebody else in that position first. Reigns could be a guy to challenge Brock, and I don't think win. I think them. Well, I take that back. I think that he will not win if they have a shot of Daniel Bryan coming back in the near future. If not, I foresee them. I foresee someone like maybe like Reigns because he's a bigger guy. You know, he's a bigger built guy that might be able to stand up to Lesnar. Because right now it's he's a fucking juggernaut. You know, he's a juggernaut, bitch. What do you do?
Yeah, there are a few different names that I've seen tossed around and I think makes sense. Um, Obviously, we got the Cena rematch, which I think is a foregone conclusion at this point. But we've also got the possibility of Daniel Bryan coming back and toppling Lesnar with a David versus Goliath story. A lot of people are tossing around Ambrose now as a serious contender to Lesnar. And given his quality of work lately, I wouldn't discount that in the least. I'm I'm a big proponent of Cesaro being the one to topple Lesnar. And yeah, given his booking as of late, it, I mean, he's just being booked abysmally right now. But when he does have the moment where he comes out on top, he always looks good. Commentary raves about the man, and I mean, that's saying something considering how they're always putting themselves over and not really paying attention to a match. But it seems like they can put that aside for 2 seconds and actually pay attention to Cesaro and put him over. They call him the Swiss Superman. I think there is a lot of I think there's a good case to be made for Cesaro being the one to take down Lesnar, especially given the past relationship with Heyman. It makes a lot of sense from the storyline perspective. It just remains to be seen if the WWE can put aside the fact that they didn't build Cesaro from the ground up and just go with the flow.
Yeah, I'm unsure on this. Reigns seems to be an obvious choice. I love the idea of Cesaro being the guy to topple Reigns, but as far as the question goes, who will challenge Bork for the title next? Or not next, but well, I guess it was next, be next, but still, who will challenge him for the title? I think we're still overlooking one name that would be really awesome, and would make sense in the fact that it is still within public opinion that Brock's contract says that he can only work like certain pay-per-views a year. So, and that's Seth Rollins. What if after Night of Champions, after the match, Seth Rollins comes down and cashes in? I think he would be the only guy in that position that could challenge Brock Lesnar, in a match technically, but not be destroyed. Because Brock's
But
going to
there's
destroy
that.
Cena.
But there's that meme where he's just like, "Fuck it, I'm going for the Divas title."
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I saw. I
Because
saw
I
another
can't
one.
imagine anybody looking at Brock Lesnar outside of someone like Cena going, "I'm going to challenge that motherfucker."
I saw another one, and he's standing there saying, "Anyone want to buy a Money in the Bank title briefcase?"
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that's going to challenge him is that WCW uh, giant uh, fucking monster truck, right? From the
Monster.
Hogan giant monster truck battle.
Yes.
Yes, that's the only thing that's going to have a chance of taking down Bork Laser.
Corey brings up a possibility that I hadn't previously considered, but Drax the Destroyer, I think, could take on Brock Lesnar. And of course, I'm referencing Batista. Corey brings up a good point. He hasn't gotten his one-on-one rematch yet.
Yeah, I could see Batista getting in there. Can I see Batista winning though? No. I mean, the
No,
thing is,
I don't think he'd win, but
yeah, and this goes back to our previous conversation. Was Brock Lesnar's beating of John Cena too dominant, too much? And I think it almost is, because it's hard to have these conversations, because knowing that Cena is your top guy and has been your top guy for a while, and seemingly no one can really get one over on John Cena, yet he's like completely wasted by Brock Lesnar. It does make it difficult to look at anyone else as a legitimate opponent.
well, I mean, we all know how the WWE loves a good comeback story. I mean, that's essential what they did with Daniel Bryan. I mean, it looked incredibly unlikely that the Authority could ever be toppled, that they could ever stop screwing Daniel Bryan, but there he went. And I mean, I don't see any reason they wouldn't do the same with Brock. They're gonna make him look like the ultimate badass in the process, but I mean, somebody's got to take him down eventually.
So
Or I mean, he just smashes everything in his path. There's no opposition left, and he just fuck this. I'm bored. I'm just gonna drop this. You guys do what you want with it.
no, I can't see that. I can't
No
see that
way.
happening. But let's just briefly talk about Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is obviously an option. Can you see Brock holding the title up until whenever Daniel Bryan gets back, which would be December, January, that area?
Sure. I mean, he's gonna be absent for like at least half those pay-per-views in between, so why not?
Yep.
TW Podcast.